Hi there YouTube, hi my beautiful subscribers, welcome to my channel and welcome to this video. This is the psychic reading for the full moon in Scorpio, which is happening on the 7th of May. And what we can expect, I will go into detail for all the signs and check for your sun, moon and rising so you get a detailed picture of how this energy is going to work out for you. So I'm going to be reading with my giant rider and weight deck, as you guys know that I use that a lot, and I will be of course using my Earth Magic Oracle deck for clarification, and of course for your love reading I will be picking from the Love Tarot as well as Doreen Virtue's Oracle deck. So having said that, this is quite an interesting full moon experience, and any full moon that takes place in Scorpio is powerful. But remember, the moon is in fall in Scorpio, so it's not traditionally a very strong placement for the moon. But the moon here, the thing with Scorpio is that Scorpio feels a lot, and people oftentimes think that, oh, they're Scorpio so they don't feel anything. But believe me, that could not be further from the truth, because Scorpios feel intensely. This is happening, of course, in the sidereal system in the Libra decan, and that is Libra decan 2. So that is the sidereal Libra, but in tropical Western system, this falls in the sign of Scorpio. Okay, and this is taking place on the 7th, like I said. Okay. On the 17th degree, so here also we see the 7 pop up, and remember, anytime there are number synchronicities like a number repeating, it is not to be taken lightly, because this is the way that the universe speaks to us. So 7 here, remember, it's powerful. So before I jump into each signs, I'm going to give you a flat out general overview of the astro, but when I go into your sign, I will be choosing which houses are triggered, and I will give you a very detailed exposition of what to expect. So I will cut the cards while I explain to you the astro. So moon in fall, because moon rules Taurus, so moon is in fall, and of course we know that the sun is in Taurus as well. That's why the full moon is happening, because sun is in opposition, is in opposition to moon. So the masculine is in opposition to the feminine, and a common ground must be found. Okay, so it's a very special healing, because Scorpio also has a very healing side to it, because Scorpio goes looking into things that nobody wants to look into. So oftentimes they find things like Pluto, you know, the soul ruler of Scorpio, Pluto. It digs deep and deep, and this is a sign that triggers the subconscious, the unconscious. So this is a very powerfully healing energy if you know how to use it. And of course, Scorpio rules the organs of procreation as well as the organs of elimination. So diet is really important here, because you know, elimination is intricately related to diet, right? And this full moon is in opposition to Mercury as well, because Mercury is in the earthy sign of Taurus, fixed earth ruled by Venus. At least the moon and Venus are friends. Okay, so but in Mars sign, the moon is not as powerful as one might think, right? She's in detriment, actually, not fall, she's in detriment. So now the full moon is trining Neptune, and trines, I told you, are very fortuitous. They're very fortunate. They bring forth good news. Sometimes, of course, trines can be bad, like we speak about the exalted planets and how they sometimes may be negative, although they are exalted in certain positions. So the same thing can happen with this. Trines are fortunate by themselves, but if you are tuning into the negative side of trines, it could be like floodgates opening, and on a full moon it's like emotions galore, and this is Neptune we are talking about. So lies, deceit, illusion, fog, things being veiled, addiction, escapism, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, all of this is very, very possible with Neptune, because those are the lower vibrations of Neptune. When you think of this, think of how the opposite of addiction is connection. You know why people become addicts is because they are not connected to the pulse of life. So when you think of Neptune as addiction, you have to understand that these people at the heart of it crave connection, and when connection is taken away from them, they see no other way. And Neptune also triggers fantasy realms. That's why inebriation or intoxication is a possible phenomena with this, plant-based medicine as well as psychotropics. It is possible to awaken with such things if that is what you want to do. Okay, and especially this Mercury. Mercury is like how we communicate, how we do business. It's a marketplace, and it is trining. It's sextile Neptune, of course, and the Mercury sextile Neptune, and full moon was trine Neptune. So we see the Neptunian Piscean energy getting activated as well with this lunation in Scorpio. And Scorpio and Pisces are both water signs, so they are trining one another, right? Now, there's the full moon is also quincunx Gemini, retrograde in Venus retrograde in Gemini. Okay, so this is a quincunx aspect, 5 signs apart, and it can be quite chaotic. Okay, with this, there can be an incessant hunger for validation or love, a greed for love, for the concept of love, not for real, but something real. Okay, something just out of like some fairy tale book. That is not possible in reality. Okay, now this decan, second decan of tropical Scorpio is ruled by the Sun and Jupiter. So Sun can be both a malefic as well as a benefic, but Jupiter is the greater benefic. So there's a blessing somewhere there, okay? And we also see more fortunate aspects playing out really with this lunation, okay? And the tarot card associated is 6 of Cups. I've already cut the cards to read, so I'm not going to look for 6 of Cups, but 6 of Cups, right? It's a connection to childhood. Maybe people from our past coming back, an emotional sort of experience that deals with healing trauma as well. Okay, now from Picotrix I quote, this is how the Magi describe the second phase of Scorpio. The image for this is a man riding up upon a camel holding a scorpion in his hand. And this is a face of knowledge, modesty, disposition of one who speaks evilly to one another. So we see this very nefarious side of Scorpio activated with this decan as well, because although it's ruled by Sun and Jupiter, but we see this sort of evil words, and we have this lunation opposite Mercury. So evil words, destructive words, what we don't intend to communicate, but we do so because we can't control our Mars energy. That can be triggered, and that can be difficult. Now let us go into the signs. Now, as I said, I've already cut the cards, and I'm going to be reading reverse today. So let's see what we have. Hopefully not too many reversals. Hopefully we have a nice, major arcana. Well, that's more karmic. Yeah, I guess more of the major arcana playing out. I like that. Wow, this just fell out, so I'm going to keep this card. This is like a blessing from spirit. Aries, it's beautiful because you got the star, because this full moon is in your 8th house. Okay, and this is directly, the full moon is trine Neptune in your 2nd house of money, and 8th house is inheritance. So this trine can be very fortuitous, very fortunate for you, because it's triggering that 8th house.Maybe you've applied for some funds and it could come through because your 2nd house is activated. Okay, so this is very possible. And you've also got that 8th house, okay, which is a full moon. And the full moon is trining Neptune. So you've got the Neptune in the 12th, right? You had Mercury in the 2nd. So that was really powerful for you. Triggering the 12th house can be difficult because this deals, 12th house is the house of undoing. It is where our ancestors speak to us. So actually with this energy, I do see the 12th house healing activated, the healing component of the 12th house. It's a house of evil spirits, they say in traditional astrology, where Saturn takes joy. So there's a nefarious side to this, and Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. So, you know, like Aquarius is your 11th house where Saturn is sitting right now. So for you, this could be 11th house stuff that's going on with communication online, and maybe online you get a resolution for you get your inheritance and you add to your source of income. Very possible. Okay. And now we have the full moon quincunx Venus, and Venus is in your 3rd house. So problems with neighbors can arise, siblings, cousins. If you're taking a short distance trip, there could be problems. You know, if you're going with family, there could be fights. So this quincunx is a very difficult aspect to integrate, basically. But with the star, I always see healing, and this is the Pleiades constellation. That's where the Sun and Mercury are. So they're giving you that energy, Aries, to sort of push through with what you believe. I just had the oracle cards, and now I don't have them in. Okay, they're there. All right. So with the star, let me pull a clarifier for you. And the clarifier for you is instinct. So listen to your instinct. I guess also this 12th house activation does mean you have to listen to instinct. Raw instinct. Okay. Now in the love department, Aries, I see overall nice things happening to you guys. Okay, so temperance. So you have to wait. Okay, love does not come if you do not wait. If you do not put in the healing necessary, okay? You're like, okay, I've heard that before. You know, what am I supposed to do? I'm going through a bad experience. I understand that. But temperance is about the alchemy that is being created behind. And of course, there is a passion in this relationship, the relationship you're thinking about. So why let it go? Maybe it's worthwhile. Maybe, you know, you just did some work on it, or, you know, maybe give it even time. I don't know, that could be very, very fruitful. Now Taurus, the full moon is in your 7th house. So this is activating relationships, interpersonal relationships, okay? And Mercury is in your 1st house. So this is sort of like bringing clarity about your own ideas, about what you think, what you believe, how you interpret what's going on around you with the coronavirus and all of that, okay? And again, this thing with Neptune that's going on, right? This beautiful, and the full moon is in opposition to Mercury. So this is bringing the first 7th house into play, right? Self and person. So yes, there could be stuff that comes to you with regards to relationship, Taurus. I do see that happening. And the 7th house is, of course, trining that Neptune in the 11th and activating your communities. So that's also a very beautiful thing. 11th house activation with the Neptune and Pisces. And again, the full moon is quincunx Venus in your 2nd house of income. So, you know, this in your 7th house to 2nd house, again, money, somehow I see money, business, or even relationships. It could be about divorce as well. You know, your 7th house is like your marriage. It's serious. It's not like a relationship. So you have all this activation of the 11th. So, you know, online businesses, if you have, could be very prosperous, Taurus. Nice. Again, a beautiful card, a major arcana card. And I did say at the beginning that I wanted to pull more major arcana cards for you. So take a moment of peace and take a deep breath. And release, Taurus, because the cycle is concluding. It was painful, it was melancholic, it was dramatic, it was, you know, intellectual, it sort of, you know, encompassed all the 5 senses, this experience. And it is a big karmic cycle that is ending for some reason, for some of you. Of course, we know that you know, there's tons going on, right? Tons going on with the world. So a beautiful time of just letting things happen, because even if you see that problems are popping up, everything is so karmic right now for you, Taurus. Again, I pick instinct. For Aries also, this card popped up. So you just use your instinct and you will bring the cycle to a perfect conclusion. It's going to be beautiful. A major arcana, I love pulling major arcana for these full moon readings. Brings me a lot of joy to do that. Now in the love department, hope. Relationship, the relationship you're thinking about, especially for some of you with the 7th house heavy activation and this quincunx with Venus, I see a lot of issues pop up with regards to security, financial security, the relationship you're having, what to do with it. So for that, I think right now, if things are going really bad, just have hope. Okay, hope that there will be a new day, hope that there'll be a new tomorrow, because there will, believe me when I say that. You are changing, you're rooting. Children could be on your mind, and that could be one reason for some of you losing hope, which I don't think you should. This is a modern era where even if we've had children, we are ready, we can be allowed, if we want to restart the whole experience again. Okay, now Gemini, this activation is your 6th house, the lunation of course, and it's opposite Mercury in your 12th house. Health. Geminis, if you fall really sick, literally you could be dying. The 12th house is dying. Gemini rules the lungs. That's where coronavirus gets attached to the lungs. So the 6th house opposition to Mercury, and Mercury is your ruler. So this lunation and moon, it's like the 6th house is beds, everyday work, diet, your physical body. So imagine if you eat something wrong or you inhale something wrong and you get sick and you trigger the opposition with this 12th house with Mercury, right? So be very careful about that. Mercury is your ruler. So this opposition, and take care of your lungs. Venus retrograding in your lungs. Take care of your shoulders, your arms. Just be safe. And this full moon is also trining Neptune in the 10th. So this could be good to be seen in your career. Whatever you're doing, you could be noticed. You could be even complimented on the artistic outlook you had about something, because Neptune can be very artistic and very creative in completely. Now of course your 6th house is quincunx, your first house where Venus is. So health and self again. Venus is self, and Venus is the sole ruler of Gemini. So tons of people don't know that. So that's something to look out for. Okay, your health. And 12th house, it dissolves things. So there could be death in the way of endings, and for some people it could be death. So just take care, don't smoke too much, and because people are dying now with the coronavirus, that's affecting the lungs, and Gemini rules the lungs, and there's a 6th house 12th house opposition. So just be careful. That's it. I don't want to scare you. Protect yourself spiritually, or find help to do it. But otherwise, I think if you're keeping healthy, building your immune system, you should be all right. Now Cancer, I don't think I pulled a card for Gemini yet, did I? No, I did not. Okay, so this is a very quarrelsome energy, and as I picked this card, I thought, will I say clarity? But quarrelsome energy came out first, because yes, this is publishing, clarity, all of that. But somehow Gemini, I feel that there's a sister or somebody who's like mother or mother-in-law, creating a lot of problems and really just riling things up at home. And if not at home, then could even be someone, because you're staying at home working and your boss is getting on your head. It's Queen of Swords can be very quarrelsome. Okay, so I see this is a very quarrelsome energy. That's what Spirit told me. That could be putting your immunity down. Synergy is connection to Earth, Gemini. If you can connect to trees, befriend them. Trees will also help you breathe. If you hug a tree and just breathe and observe your breath, you breathe deeper. In the love department, whatever you have sown, so shall you reap. This is like a sort of judgment call. Okay, it's a very heavy card. Again, major arcana. And this speaks of you know, whatever will happen, but there will be the question of a rebirth with this. Of course, there'll be rebirth that's taking place. So don't for one second, if doors are being closed, don't for one second think that that's how it's going to be for the rest of your life, because new doors open up all the time, Gemini. Okay, now did I give you a love card? No, I don't think I gave you Doreen Virtue Oracle deck. Did I? No, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but here's another one. Separation. So Gemini, your reading seems to be quite heavy, and I will send my Gemini special Reiki. So stay safe, my love. Don't go out, don't take unnecessary risks. If you feel like talking to someone, contact me, okay? Get a reading, but do not just go crazy. Okay, full moon for Cancerians. My sweet Cancerians is in your 5th house of romance, children, creativity, triggering all of that. And is in opposition to Mercury in your 11th house, the internet, larger community. So there's some kind of discrepancy that's taking place. Maybe the love of your life in the larger community, and maybe they're not sort of accepting you on Facebook, or not really giving you the acknowledgement you need online. And this opposition could speak of even a creative project that you are putting a ton of effort in, but there's just no results compared to the effort you're putting in. And you know, believe me, I've been there. So it's about continuation. Okay, and the trine with Neptune is your 5th and 9th, triggering foreigners. So there could be news from foreign people or foreign lands, maybe about the work you do. If your love is somewhere far away, that is possible. 5th and 12th, triggering the quincunx. So 12th house is again house of death, house of dissolution, house of evil spirits, the house where Saturn finds joy, the greater malefic. So it's and your moon is in your 5th house, which is good. Although it is one of your primary angular houses, but still it's good. 5th house is actually a blessed place. But that Venus in the 12th, okay, the quincunx, and that 12th house is Gemini for you. So again, don't smoke too much, take care of your lungs, and stay safe. Okay, even your children, keep them safe, because 5th house is children, and the quincunx is taking place in your 3rd. So short distance trips good in your 12th, so take care of that. Because 12th house could mean danger, okay, even drowning, incarceration, and all of that. So yet with this energy, your children could get incarcerated, maybe if they're doing something wrong, or you know, finally the authorities catch up with them. That could be possible for some people. All right, now Cancer, your cards before I move on. Okay. So 9 of Swords, it's not bad. 9s are about completions, but 9 of Swords in reverse, this is bad, but this means that you're ready to complete this painful cycle that's kept you up at night, that's given you hurt, pain, tremendous trauma. You're actually actively engaging in some ways to culminate, to bring this to culmination, to conclude this. And that's very important, Cancer. It's 5th house related. So as I said, you know, love life, very possible. I can hear that love thing coming through. So a ton of you this could be a relationship that's just really taken a ton out of you, and you're not ready to, you don't know what you want to do after this. So have hope, new beginnings, beautiful. 5th house, I just said house of blessing. New beginnings are coming your way, my Cancerians. Fret not. Okay, in the love department, let us see what we have for you, my sweets. I put 2, so I'm going to put them back. Okay, again, I got Judgment. So if a relationship is ended, there are new beginnings around the corner. because whatever happened was karmic. It was like Judgment Day that played out, Cancer. So if it is about letting go, it has to be about letting go. It cannot be about excessive neediness or clutching to straws because you just feel like it. New beginnings, you're getting to know one another. So with the new beginnings, if you keep an open mind, somebody may come that would completely surprise you, because they're like nothing that you know. They are, you don't expect them, like you didn't think that you'd be attracted to them, but that is very, very possible, Cancer. Now Leo, this full moon is in your 4th house, okay, opposition to your 10th house, career, so family, foundations, and public social life. So now we don't have much of a social life with coronavirus, but if you're always on the phone broadcasting, or on the call with someone, and you're neglecting your family, this could show. So this opposition calls for you to find balance, find a middle ground between your career and between the people you love, maybe even your mother, and Mercury in your 10th house opposition. Maybe your family is not letting you do what you want to do, and that is very possible, Leo. The Neptune trine is happening in the 8th house. Pisces is your 8th house, triggering again your 4th house. So there could be, some inheritance that can come through also with this trine, something nice, some spiritual knowledge, some information about your ancestors, something healing that has to do with your 8th house. That's where Neptune is for you, and that's where Neptune's been for so long, in your 8th house, that really dreaming of something completely new, something you've never dreamt of, right? And also the quincunx with Venus is in your 11th to 4th. So 11th house is again online, larger communities and all of that. So that is something to look at, all right? With this quincunx, problems could happen with how you are represented online, or maybe someone's maligning your name, or maybe just some misunderstandings could happen with this quincunx, okay? So just be mindful of that, Leo. And let's pull the cards for you. I hope the slapping of the cards was not too strong. Oh my god, so this is Queen of Cups, like Pisces is what I hear. So this 8th house, Leo, for you is Pisces. So this could be a problem with the mother or a maternal figure, or maybe under whom you work, like your boss, or you're doing some kind of apprenticeship, or this is a teacher or a professor, or even your film director or an actress that you're working with, and there's just some kind of problems that keep popping up, and that quincunx and that Venus is just going to amplify that, right? And in the oracle department, this could also mean that you're not ready to be emotionally, you're not ready to grow up emotionally, and you have all these shackles around you that keep you from becoming your true self. Very possible, okay? Now, Leo, what do I have for you in the oracle department? Time to be still. Maybe you're moving around too much. Maybe you're not concentrating on what needs to be done. And I think stillness is something you need to imbibe right now. Your heart could be broken. I do hear broken heart, okay? Now let's see what your love reading says. As I said, this could be a mother, it's an elderly person. It could be, if your lover could be older than you, for some of you Leos. Okay, and in the love department, okay, justice in reverse. So whatever it is that you feel you're putting in your relationship, it's like injustice is being done to you, or you are doing injustice. And this is also the card of Libra, for those of you with a Libra partner. Sorry, this is a definite clash with your partner, okay? Be mindful of that if you have a Libra partner. Now with regards to your oracles, the Doreen Virtue oracles, you've got unrequited love. So that's how some of my Leos are feeling. That's why Queen of Cups, maybe somebody refused you. Maybe somebody did not accept you, and this has hurt you inadvertently. Okay, and this has really caused you some damage, but you have to get over it and you have to move on, because maybe this was not meant to be. Okay, so Virgo is of course your third house of communication, siblings, short distance travel, communication, office work, all of that. And Mercury is in opposition to this full moon. It's in your 9th house of foreigners, which is Taurus, where even the sun is. So foreigners, publishing, long distance travel. So there's a problem, and Mercury is your ruler. So there's this, problem, some kind of issues are popping up with this, right? Third house communication. Your communication is being misconstrued by someone who lives abroad, or your siblings who live abroad are, maybe asking for a lot of money, or there's some kind of problem that they're going through and you don't know how to solve it because you probably live very far. I see far off activation, foreign shores for you, Virgo. And the trine is happening in your 3rd and your 7th. The 3rd for you is again siblings and all of that, but I said short distance travel and automobile even. And the 7th is when Neptune is in Pisces in your polarity, and this is about relationships. So communication with your partner or with your business partner could be harmonious. So trine, but too much could be too much of a good thing could be bad. So keep that in mind, Virgo. The quincunx is 3rd to 10th, because Gemini is your midheaven, your 10th house. So you could be having problems in the way you communicate and how you're perceived online, how you social recognition, Maybe you have an online business and maybe you do present something. Maybe your blog doesn't get hits. Possibilities like that. Maybe you want to launch a course and it's just not taking off. Your website's just not taking off, okay? That is very possible. That Gemini, because it's your 10th house and Venus retrograding there, could mean a lot, okay? I mean, in terms of how you're perceived online. Now, let's see the cards I have for you, Virgo. Problems with emails, going through communication errors, whatever communication you wanted to go forth with, you are unable to do that. If you're being repressed about pay or about something like that, and you don't have the mouth to say it, it's like you feel stifled in all sides. Knight of Swords is quick, decisive action as well. A huge clarity of thoughts, but I don't feel that with you, Virgo, because maybe your ruler is in opposition to this lunation. So you feel this pretty heavily. Instinct is a card that is popping out over and over. So instinct, we all have to use our instinct this lunation, that is what Spirit is telling us. And now I just have all these cards in front of me and they just keep disappearing. So I am looking for that. Or yeah, okay, I found it. Okay, so in the love department, Virgo, Saturn has exited your 5th. That may have brought somebody for you. The Hermit in reverse, this is your card. So you're probably taken the solitude thing to another level, and your partner may feel left out or not included or not loved or just not accepted in the way that they want to be accepted. And this is also that 8th house triggering, but it's a trine. But trines, as I said, could be problems, could have problems with them. Free yourself. So in a sense, I feel like you are in shackles of sorts, okay, whereby you're unable to move freely, to do what you want to do with your love life, to create what you want to create with your life, right? Okay, now we have Libra. For you, Scorpio is your 2nd house. Money, income, what you own, what you value, all the resources available to you is your 2nd house. Okay, and this is triggered in opposition to your 8th house of taxes, debt, all things hidden, inheritance. So there could be problems with all of these things. If you've not paid your taxes, it could catch up with you. 8th house is also the house of death. So it's triggering with your 2nd house. So income, problems with income, and income sources stopping could also happen with this lunation. And also with your 2nd house, Neptune is being trined in your 6th house. So money and health and diet, is harmonious flow, but trines could also bring problems. So that's something to look at. Your health, Libra, look after your health. That 8th house Mercury, it's thing. And also this is Venus is in your 9th house, and this moon is in your 2nd. So this is literally triggering the 9th house of foreigners, foreign people, publishing, and all of that. So you're getting, and Venus is your ruler. That's where she's retrograding, back and forth, back and forth. So this quincunx aspect to Venus tells me money problems could happen. Lack of abundance. Even if you have enough money, you feel like, oh my god, I don't have enough money. What do I do? And the 9th house is difficult with foreign people. If you've sent them stuff to, like, you want to sell things and they come back and people have rejected them. But Spirit says don't worry, because Venus has you covered. This is the card of Venus, your ruler, who's now, as I said, in your 9th, retrograding back and forth. So Venus has you covered, Libra. Don't worry, abundance is yours. You have to believe in it. You have to create it. Again, we had the major arcana, and I said today as I start, I want major arcanas, and they're popping up everywhere. So that is how tarot responds to you if you work with this consistently for like 20 years or more, All right. Now it's time to go on a vision quest, Libra. It's when you just renounce something you do to devote more time to spiritual practices, like facing the dark night of the soul. Vision quest means you have to go away on your own. I know it's not always possible to go away on your own, but it could be in your own room with something you do like breath work or tratak or study the tarot. Have hope in your love life, because all is not lost. Okay, Libra, have hope in your love life, right? Children could be the prime source of what's taking you away from having a connection with someone. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you feel overprotective about your children, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, and it's completely up to you. But a healthy balance is what is needed, right? Scorpio, full moon in the 1st house, triggering Mercury in the 7th, in opposition, of course, in Taurus, where the sun is as well. So there's this intense tug and pull happening with you, Scorpios. Now full moon is trining Neptune in the 5th. That is beautiful, bringing love, romance, beautiful memories that you can make with your children. Quincunx Venus, full moon on the 1st, quincunx Venus in the 8th. Again, health could pop up, inheritance, debt, taxes, things that are hidden. And this quincunx is, awakening all of that with yourself. The 1st house, the house of self. So it's quite an intense activation with Venus, quincunx in the 8th house, of course, and even that opposition with the 7th, bringing out all the polarities of like me versus them, tons of questions and answers are gonna pop up. Maybe not answers, but tons of questions, and you'll start drilling for those answers. You're either juggling too much, or you are vying two options. There are two options in front of you. If you don't know, there is a second path, and for some of you, I feel like you're just trying to do too much, and it could all come crashing down if you're not careful. So just connect to your body, okay? Connect to your body first. 8th house also secrets. Something would be revealed. Don't forget that. So, Scorpio, Spirit says, let your beautiful soul unfold. As the lotus grows from mud and reaches up, and no mud can touch its flower. It's the flower of the lotus. So it's pure, although it originates in mud. So that is what Spirit's asking you to do. Let the unfoldment occur slowly but surely. The moon. So this is quite precious. Like Cancer is like your 5th house. So 5th house activation is very possible for you, Scorpio. This could be secrets, lies, deceit, or touching base with your feminine side, or listening to your intuition, or having problems with your menstrual cycle. So all of that, and if you're feeling too crabby, too PTSD'd out, you could have problems. And moon in Scorpio is always a bit too much, a bit too intense. So that full moon there said that, some intense activity will take place for you, Scorpio. You deserve love, believe that, and you deserve love, right? Sag, there's a complete 12th house activation for you. 12th house of dissolution, 12th house of death, 12th house of incarceration, 12th house of drowning, addiction, escapism, spirituality, mysticism. This is the natural house of Pisces. And this lunation, which is already in a very intense sign of fixed water, ruled by Mars, Scorpio. And this in your 12th house is triggering all kinds of dreams. Dream work is very powerful for you right now, Sagittarius, with such a heavy 12th house activation. Death means endings of certain things. You've got to face that. Moon is in opposition to Mercury in your 6th house of health. I suggest you guys be very careful. Health, okay? Take care of your health, take care of where you go out, because this 12th and 6th house does not look good. Even a food poisoning can become very, very bad. So keep that in mind, Sag. And trine is happening with Neptune on the 4th house, from your 12th to 4th. So ancestral dreams about your family. 4th house is the crux of your natal chart, holds your chart together. So, stuff coming from your childhood, from your background, and the sort of life you've lived, and all these dreams coming to you, and you don't know how to make sense of these dreams. You don't know what to feel, but they are coming. Past life regression is superbly suggested. Okay, it's like really really effective past life regression when you have all these houses triggered. Also Venus quincunx in the 7th. So relationships, interpersonal relationships are going to come under focus. Okay, it's going to be intense, because your ruler Jupiter is in your 2nd house in detriment already. He's exalted in fall, for he's exalted in Cancer, and in Capricorn Jupiter is in fall, debilitated. So that's what we have to look at. Sag, right? Heavy 12th house activation. Page of Cups in reverse. So this is directly sort of like, pages are oftentimes the start of something. So cups are about emotions. This could be some sort of childhood. I feel like some kind of childhood trauma surfacing for you. Someone who hurt you, or someone maybe you hurt, or something that just keeps bothering you about your childhood, and you could be dreaming about that. And in a sense, you want to protect your children from that. So that's what Spirit is showing me. It's like you feel very protective for someone, and you are probably very hard on them because of what happened to you. But I think a lot of things are going to make sense to you after this, because when you have once a year this heavy 12th house full moon in fall in Scorpio, intense, it opens things up. So this I see is your childhood, and there's an emotional disconnect to your childhood. Okay, I would have read this card completely differently, but this is what Spirit made me say. Problems with what happened. some kind of unresolved trauma that really shows up for you. Although you are not a water sign, Sag, but I still know that your ruler is exalted in the water sign of Cancer. So I somehow feel this is you, your childhood, Sag, and you're unable to find emotional fulfillment because you can't reset that. And look at that, I picked for you the card of ancestors. Your ancestors are sending you messages on this 12th house activation. Listen to them. Listen to what is coming forth. Okay, you could be channeling something powerful. And don't forget, this decan of Scorpio is ruled by Jupiter and Sun, and Jupiter and Sun are friends. Ancestors are speaking to you. Generational traumas are being relived for you to conquer and integrate and purge forever. Okay, that was probably one of the heaviest readings. I just got chills when that ancestor card popped up, and you have such a heavy 12th house activation. So lack of charity in reverse. So you feel like your ancestors have not been charitable towards you, and I think it is some sort of redemption, some sort of messages you need to hear that is going to clarify a lot of things for you, Sag. But I don't think you should lose hope, or you should cut away from charity because you feel like you've been wronged, and you don't want to help anyone because you've been wronged. Reconciliation in your love life. So don't take away that charity component, reverse that energy, you know. Your ancestors are speaking to you. So heal whatever is emotionally unfulfilling, or what has emotionally held you back in shackles. Okay, that is something you have to do, Sag. For Capricorn, this is 11th house of, you know, larger communities, larger networks, larger groups. 11th house, internet, innovation, you know, huge groups of people, right? And triggering Mercury opposition in your 5th house. Taurus is your 5th house. So there's some kind of problem with maybe your love life, or maybe some kind of problem with children, and you know, something online, and you see something and it really triggers you about your lover or about your children, and you sort of don't know how to react to that, and you're really upset about it. So also trining Neptune in the 3rd house of siblings, and there should be a good exchange with a sibling or someone who's neighborly, who's a friend in the neighborhood. Or maybe short distance travel could be very spiritually enlightening or invigorating. And the quincunx is with the Venus in your 6th. Again, you know, a difficult portent for your health. Take care of your health, everyday food habits, everyday workout habits, diet, exercise, you know, stuff like that. Just had to say the same thing twice just to drill it in, Capricorn. Now for you, the message from Spirit is a soulmate twin flame romance is coming your way. Okay, it could be a man or a woman, and they are full of compassion and full of love and full of the trine in the 3rd house. I feel they could be from the same neighborhood, or you meet them around, and you sort of have this really powerful exchange with them, you know. Did I? Okay, I don't think I should say. Did I choose your card for you? Oh yeah, Knight of Cups. So I'm going to keep it out. See, I almost forgot because I usually have this habit of keeping the cards out, or I put them back. I pull for your ancestors. So there is definitely a very ancestral component to this full moon. I mean, for Sagittarius, this was the card because this was you triggering their 12th house. But for you, Cap, 5th house is a house of blessing, and you have that 3rd house and the 6th house. So ancestors are telling you to take care of what's creative inside of you, your health. You know, Saturn is in your 2nd house. So he just changed, and you have this great conjunction. If everything is falling apart, something is going to come back together. something beautiful, something you never expected, something you did not even dare dream of is coming your way. A cycle is unable to conclude. Maybe that's why you can't start afresh on romantic endeavors, because you're not letting something end. Something must end and you're not letting it end, and that is just going to drain you further. Okay, it's going to drain you further. Express your love, Capricorn. If there's someone that you feel for, express your love. Don't keep it hidden. All right, we are at Aquarius, are we? Beautiful Aquarius, yes. And this is your 10th house full moon. Powerful, activating your 4th by an opposition, your 2nd by your trine, and your 5th by a quincunx. So 10th house is social recognition, career, how you're perceived, you know, and that is being triggered. So the full moon is bringing illumination to how you're perceived, you know. There's definitely an acknowledgement of what you do, right? And this opposition to Mercury in your 4th could be triggering your family, your foundations, your childhood, you know, something maybe you learned in your childhood and you finally being able to express it and you're being known for it. Some sort of acknowledgement there with the 10 and that 4th, but it's an opposition, so it could go anyways, you know. It ultimately calls for a middle ground, right? Neptune's in your 2nd, you know, 2nd house of income and resources and what's available to you, what you earn, and all of that. So this trine, it could be favorable. Trines oftentimes are for riches, but it could also be too much, and you may end up spending a lot of money if you're not careful, Aquarius, on something that does not sustain you later, or something some tech-based idea maybe you thought was really great, but it doesn't do it, okay? Or something that you thought would work doesn't work the way you want it to work. 10th house and Venus in the 5th, creative ideas will take a fall with this quincunx. And of course, with Saturn in your sign, there could be restrictions, but whatever's happening now is long term. It's not a short term thing. It's not something that's just gonna come and go. King of Wands, I see you meeting this person, Aquarius, could be Leo or could be Aries or Sagittarius. This could also be like your dad or a boss who finally tells you a few things about how to take your creative work seriously, because you know this full moon can show you a lot of what you were probably avoiding because you were looking at the bigger picture. So you were not looking at, again, I pull the ancestors card. This card keeps popping up today, and I think all of our ancestors are trying to contact us to tell us to, you know, take responsibility, to do something for the earth as she is healing. And how do we heal society? How do we heal people? These are things an Aquarian really thinks about. So, and this is interesting because it's the card of Taurus, and this is your 4th house, and Mercury is opposition. So the Hierophant is the high priest here, is about someone in your love life for you. This could be like you're not spiritually connecting with the person you are seeing or you are with, and you're not spiritually connecting, and there's a disconnect somewhere. And it could be that you want to start something new with this person, and you crave to do something new with them, but it could happen, it may not. You deserve love, and that's all you need to know, Aquarius. When things go hard and you start judging, then you can be quite hard on yourself, although you know you're not flustered easily. But still, I mean, you know, anybody can be flustered, and with what's going on, nothing. Saturn in Aquarius has just changed reality as we know it. Pisces, this is your 9th house activation. Scorpio for you is your 9th house of foreigners, publishing, just higher knowledge. So you could be very interested in all these subjects. The Mercury opposition is in your 3rd house, which is Taurus. activating siblings, neighborhood, short distance travel, you know, communication, office work, anything mercurial. And of course your ruler Neptune is trining in the first house, which is beautiful. You could be, you know, getting dreams and you know, dreams of lands far away. You could be like really thinking about changing your image because you have this full moon trine. Trines can also be dangerous, so there's always a balance component that needs to be added to trines. And also your 9th house is quincunx Gemini in the 4th. So family issues could give you problems and could be, you know, a breakup could be driving you crazy. Now the card for you is 8 of Swords in reverse. So this is definitely a good portent because this means that the situation that kept you confined, constricted, restricted is about to end and the shackles are going to be cut off. But you also have to consider that a part of this energy is how you've allowed yourself to feel or where you've allowed things to get, okay, where you've allowed things to escalate to. And oftentimes you may think like you don't have an option, but you do. And that is what Spirit is trying to tell you loud and clear. Is that just throw off those shackles, just take that blindfold off and walk away. Because the swords are not particularly harming you. Solitude is important for you, Pisces. This full moon, okay? Spend some time in solitude. If people can be very taxing. So the best thing for you to do is just spend some time in solitude. Wait for your love life to really take off. Now may not be the time. If there's a person on your mind and you want to take things to the next level, it may not be the right time. Just wait. Yes, there is attraction to the person that you know, attraction with the person you're thinking of, but I don't think you should jump the gun and rush it just yet. There could be things you don't know. There could be things that you have to consider because, you know, a moon in fall and Scorpio always brings a lot of emotions. Although, you know, the 9th house, the cadent house, is not so important. But still, it's not an angular house, like, right, like the 1st or 4th or 7th or 10th. So ultimately, it is not crazily intense for you, but Scorpio moon in fall. And also remember that this lunation is ruled by Sun and Jupiter is your ruler. So you are feeling this a lot, and this lunation being in trine aspect to Neptune, this is really triggering the Piscean energy because Neptune is considered the modern ruler of Pisces, you know. Although I look at Jupiter and Neptune both as rulers of Pisces, but you know, the god Varuna, the archetype of Varuna, the sea god. So yeah, it's going to be a trying time, not just for you Pisces, but for all of us. So I would like to end with a shloka, and today is the day of Mercury, of course, and Mercury is in opposition to the full moon, which we are talking about in a few days. Next month, who knows what will happen next month now that we are all in corona quarantine, and we've been that way for so long, and we've just not had a way to meet anybody or, you know, interact with anybody, and things have been really hard for us because, you know, our lives have changed. Like, I don't go out so much. I do my work from home, but I miss people outside. I miss the pulse of life outside. Yes, we human beings pollute the earth and, you know, pollute the environment, but we also do a ton of good. So, I mean, you know, we have to keep that in mind and we have to have compassion. That is what Neptune teaches us, compassion and love for all of creation, not just, you know, given to speciesism, but to truly connect to all of divinity and all of life, all of creation. So I'm going to end with my favorite Vajra Guru mantra, which I dedicate to my Guru, Guru Padma Sambhava. and it goes like this. Om Aham Vajra Guru Pema Siddhihang. 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 Thank you so much for being with me, and please like, subscribe, comment, book a reading, and let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit the notification button so you know every time I upload a video. Thank you and bye-bye.